This is In the Box, the England Football Podcast. No matter who you are, if you love football, we have something for you. 45,000 players, 38,000 fixtures, 20 leagues within 48 divisions. Yes, this isn't the Premier League, it isn't the English Football League, it is the non-league system in England. And you should care because there's an opportunity for you to get involved coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Did you know that on Saturday, the 26th of March, it is Non-League Day? Non-League Day is all about encouraging football fans to head to their local team to discover what non-league football is all about. It's raw, it's gritty, and it's full of passion. And we are delighted on this episode of In the Box to introduce you to some amazing people involved in this part of the game.
Yes, on this episode, we've got Tony Incenzo. Tony from talkSport, Sky Sports, and also a columnist for the non-league paper will be joining us. Tony has visited over 2,000 grounds within the UK across this level of game. He's an absolute champion and out there on a game day. We'll also be talking to some of our hosts from Harborough Town FC on this episode to find out why the non-league game is so magical and special for them. But first, it's time for our scouting report.
Yeah, this is a new feature on In the Box where Tom and I have the opportunity to applaud and celebrate some of the amazing work going on across the country. And I'll start, Tom, with an example down my neck of the woods at Margate Football Club, who compete in the Isthmian League. I saw that recently they hosted a hen party at one of their first team games. As you can see, everyone had a ball, and I just thought it was a really good idea about engaging with a different kind of supporter, making sure they have a wonderful time and generating some income on a match day as well.
Them pictures look absolutely fantastic, and I want to shout out Stourbridge FC. They have a men's first team that play in the Southern League Premier, but these clubs do so much work reaching out into their community that they've got a Wildcat Centre, and Wildcat Centres are all about inspiring the next generation of girls to get involved in football. And looking at the marketing materials that they've got going on across their social media, Charlotte, they're going to do just that.
Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. And as part of our scouting report for this episode, Tom and I asked you to tell us, what is your favourite thing about non-league football? And we were overwhelmed, not only by the number of replies, but the variety of them as well. Tom, it was absolutely amazing. Did you have any favourites?
Yeah, one in particular came from Mark, the secretary at Witham Town. Mark said, to feel part of a family from the first team through to the vets, the youth and everything in between. They win together, they lose together and they draw together.
That sense of togetherness came up in a lot of answers. I really want to shout out Dean, a volunteer in the non-league game, who said, I walked into my local non-league club and was instantly made to feel so welcome and was immediately able to contribute positively to their work. And I know that he's doing a fantastic job as a volunteer at Kings Langley Football Club.
And one more from me is Grand Sports Football. The feeling of waking up on a match day and walking to the fixture with all the residents that have been going to the games for years, knowing all the players by name, and then getting to join in the debrief in the bar after the game with the players and the management team alike.
Clearly, people love their non-league football, and it's easy to understand why. If you have a reason why you love non-league football, let us know in the comments section. But for now, Tom, I think it's time for a team talk. When it comes to getting the inside scoop on the National League system, you don't get better than our two guests now. Firstly, Tony Incenzo, who is a reporter for talkSport and a renowned groundhopper, having visited over 2,000 non-league clubs.
We also have the head of the National League system, Laurence Jones, and in a voluntary capacity is also Chief Executive of Harborough Town. Welcome, Laurence. Welcome, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Right, first things first, Tony. Where did your love of non-league football come from?
Well, when I was about 10 years old, my mum used to drop me off outside the turnstiles at Hendon Football Club at 3 o'clock on a Saturday or just before. And that showed me the sort of accessibility of non-league. You don't have to book tickets. You can just turn up. You can park outside. You can stroll in. And it was very cheap as well compared to big games in London back in those days. I could go to Hendon and it was pocket money admission for me. And that's the thing nowadays as well that still makes me admire non-league football. It's the accessibility and the affordability and the community aspect. So from 10 years old, I've had this love, and I started watching Hendon, then I started going to their away games, and then I started travelling all around the country, and I still get out to about 60 or 70 non-league games a season, so I really love it.
Lawrence, and I suppose the same question goes to you. Obviously, head of the National League system for the FA, but heavily involved here at Harborough Town. where did the passion come from?
I think the passion came from my refereeing career, because I had a 20-year refereeing career. Spent a lot of time refereeing in the Southern League and the Vanarama League as it now is. And when you get behind the scenes and really sees what goes on in clubs at this level of the game, I mean, the commitment, the passion, the enthusiasm, the sheer hard work given by so many people freely, it really makes you realise how important this level of football is to football in England.
And Tony, we asked followers on social media to tell us what they loved about non-league football. I wondered, what do you find so special about it?
Well, the main aspect is the community involvement of non-league clubs. I mean, we're here tonight at Harborough Town. They have 57 teams from under fours right up to old age pensioners playing walking football. And that's a big aspect of the football club. It's not just about the first team, it's about the community involvement. That's one aspect I really like. The other aspect I like is the affordability. Harborough Town, it's £6 admission for adults on a match day and £1 for children. So an adult can come here and pay £6 to get in, get a bite to eat, get a drink, have a programme, and they'll probably still have change from 20 quid. Whereas if they go to a Premier League game in London, it's going to cost maybe £90 for a ticket, plus parking, plus something to eat, plus a drink. That's going to be maybe 120, 150 quid. And if they've got a couple of kids coming along with them, it's going to be 200 quid. And then the other aspect is the accessibility. You can turn up just before the game, you can park outside, you can come in, you don't have to book a ticket, you can park where you want, you can stand where you want, you can stroll around and watch the game from all different angles, you can meet old friends, new friends, and then afterwards you can go in the bar and have a drink with the players. And these are all lovely aspects of non-league football.
We're going to talk to some of the team behind the operations on the match day a little bit later, Laurence. But obviously, for yourself, you're providing almost now that Premier League and Football League experience at a non-league level. And to be able to do that is obviously takes some operations.
Yeah, we're very privileged with the facility we got. We're very proud of our facility. Harborough Town is very much a community club. We probably touch 30% of the population of Market Harborough, and we're trying to bring something really special to this town. I probably have a saying around the club that our offer here is no different to Leicester City up the road. It is just about scale. So the fan who does spend £6 or £3 or £1 to get in, they will have an expectation, and it's our obligation to try and meet that expectation. We can't always control what happens on the green stuff, but everything off the green stuff we can control, and it's giving people a really good experience, good value for money. And what we've seen here is that, if I was to go back 5 years, our average gate here would be around about 60. Our average gate now is breaking through 250, and we had over 1,000 here for an FA Vars match, which demonstrates to me that if we provide the right product, we will get good crowds and good support. But it isn't just about the first team. This club has, as Tony rightly said, we've got 57 teams here. We have other users who use this facility. So what we've actually provided for Market Harborough is a really high quality football hub that is enjoyed by a good percentage of the population, irrespective of age, ability or gender.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you've just encapsulated in your answer everything that non-league football is about. And Tony, given the number of games you've gone to see, the years that you've spent following non-league football, I imagine actually there are a lot of common themes and familiarities when you go from club to club that is just that unified non-league experience. What are those, in your opinion?
Well, I think the glue that holds non-league football together is the great work of the club volunteers. Everywhere you go, there are people beavering away. They don't get paid, they're volunteers. I turn up at games, I travel 200 or 300 miles, so I try to get there really early. And I can turn up 3 hours before the kickoff, and the volunteers will be there marking the pitch out, putting the goal nets up, making the tees, getting everything ready. And all around the country, these people are there helping the non-league clubs to survive, particularly through the coronavirus pandemic. It was terrible. We had 3 lockdowns, the fixtures were stopped, there was no money coming in through the turnstiles for these non-league clubs. There was no money coming through the clubhouses, which are very important. It's not just about the turnstile money, it's about what they take over the bar and renting out the facilities for functions as well. And all that money stopped, but the volunteers were there and they were still working away, and that's what kept the clubs going. And also, they helped out so much in the communities during the pandemic, doing errands for vulnerable people, delivering hot food, and so on. It's just an amazing community feeling being involved in the non-league family.
And Laurence, obviously, at a National League system, the system in itself is really unique. Obviously, you can come in at step 6, you can progress into the Football League out of step 1. Having that sort of structure in this country, how special is it?
The non-league system pyramid in England is one of the golden nuggets of football in this country. And the ability for a club that might be playing grassroots to have the dream and the aspiration and the opportunity to get into the professional game is what clubs live for. And there's some fantastic examples of clubs who not so long ago were playing at the same level as Harborough Town that are now in the English Football League. And so to have that pyramid, to have that opportunity to progress through, it enables players to develop. And I think that's really important, that, you know, we mustn't lose sight that players can come into this as an entry level in their careers. And many will go through into the pro game. Many pro players will step down and play at this level. And so we have something that is incredibly precious, incredibly important. And the 940 odd clubs who make up steps 1 to 6 of the National League system, they're probably responsible for in the region of 10 to 12,000 teams, men, women, boys and girls playing football in this country. Those clubs are absolutely the focal point of their own community. And we must never underestimate the value of that, because it's just as important for the young children who are out here tonight, many of whom have been player escorts for our first team fixtures here. This is their football club. They are proud to be associated with Harborough Town, and that's replicated across the country at every level of the National League system. And that's why football at this level, I think, is beginning to enjoy a renaissance. Over 250,000 people watch National League system football over Christmas and New Year. 250,000. That's staggering.
We absolutely need to embrace it. And Tony, we have an opportunity to do so on the 26th of March. It's non-league day, an opportunity used to attract EFL supporters and Premier League supporters down to non-league teams. What words of encouragement would you give to anyone thinking about giving it a try?
Well, to those Premier League and Football League supporters, come along, join the party. You might have a really good day out. It's not going to cost you a fortune. You'll have change maybe from 20 quid and you'll enjoy yourself, and you'll be invited in amongst the non-league family and made feel very, very welcome. So it's really good. And from a non-league aspect, if, say, an extra 10 people come to Harborough Town that day, for example, Harborough Town as an example, and those 10 people become converted non-league supporters and keep coming again and again and again, that's great for non-league. And it creates new interest, new support, and everybody can be a big part of the non-league family.
And finally, for you both, we like to ask some quick fire questions. So Tony, I'll come to you first and then you, Laurence. What does football mean to you?
Football's my life. I mean, I got married 6-7 years ago wearing football scarves. My wife's Italian, so she appreciates my passion. My little girl is 3 years old. She's already been to several matches. She's been out to non-league games with us, and she loves the match day environment as well. So for my family, football is my life.
And you, Laurence?
I'm very similar, actually. Football is my life. I'm 63 this month, and I've been involved in football since I was 6. So I guess 5.5 decades, and I've been incredibly lucky to touch so many parts of the game. But that's about me. What football is really about is what it gives to people. Sport is the most powerful thing in the world. Football is the best game in the world in my life. And how it brings people together, how it helps people develop, learn skills that perhaps they hadn't got or couldn't learn in the classroom. It actually shapes people's lives, and you can't put a value on that. That's what's so great about football.
And sticking with you, Laurence, what's the biggest thing it's then taught you from all of that?
Is actually never give up. I'm a guy who left school at 16 with no qualifications, and football's given me everything. And if that means I can be a role model to some people, that's great.
Amen. Tony, what about you?
I think it's all about respect. I mean, we're all part of a big football family. And I heard from people during the lockdowns that they were struggling with their mental health because there was no football. They didn't have that involvement. And once the football started up again, as the pandemic waned, people were starting to enjoy their lives again. So it gives us a focus that the biggest day of the week is a Saturday at 3:00, because that's what I look forward to and work towards all week. And for thousands of people all around the country, it's that involvement and that passion that keeps us all going.
Right, final quick fire question is an opportunity for you to shout out someone that's had an impact on you, or maybe a bit of an unsung hero. Tony, I'll come to you first. who is the best person you've met in football?
Oh, there are so many people. As I said, a collective shout out to all the non-league volunteers who've kept their clubs going through the pandemic and worked hard. And they get no financial reward, but they love the game and they love being involved. So those volunteers, really, they're my heroes.
I'm going to be boring and go with Tony, because for football to come through the pandemic like it did was quite remarkable. It came through it because the volunteers and the clubs, the volunteers and the leagues, they absolutely gave their all to make sure whoever and whatever they were associated with survived. And that those people should be so proud of what they've achieved. To keep this level of football alive through what was a dreadful pandemic. We didn't lose any clubs through direct result of COVID. That is a hell of an achievement, but that is down to the people who give so much for this level of the game.
Wow, what a conversation. Honestly, if I could still lace up my boots, you'd make me want to run out on that pitch right now. But I hope that inspires all of you to get down to a non-league game on the 26th of March. Laurence, Tony, thanks ever so much for being our guests.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks.
Hi, it's Charlotte from In The Box, and I've got a very special competition to tell you all about. It's that time in the season where every football club needs some more of these. So I've got 10 Nike footballs for your club to win. All you need to do is head over to In The Box, subscribe to the channel, like our latest episode, and leave a comment as well. That will enter you into the draw for a chance to win 10 Nike footballs. So what are you waiting for? Head over there now.
So making the matchday magic is no easy feat. We're joined now by two guests from Harborough Town. Can you introduce yourself for us, please?
Yeah. Ladies first, Siobhan.
I'm a chairman of Harborough Town Community Trust and also the finance trustee.
And my name's Chris. I look after part of the social media on a match day and through the week for Harborough Town.
Now, we know that non-league football is so special, but can you tell us a little bit about how the Bees create a buzz in the local area?
What we've tried to do recently in the last couple of years is certainly be a bit more of a community-related club. We just try and get out there with Twitter, social media, Instagram, Facebook, the website, and all of those popular social media channels, really.
And how hard is it to keep up with all of that? Because you've already had a little bit of stick tonight that you don't get the tweets on quick enough when a goal goes.
I know,
in.
normally from Siobhan, yes, as I'm
That's
frantically trying to tweet away. Whilst also on a match day, I do the stadium announcement for the goals as well.
And Siobhan, from your perspective, what do you think makes non-league so special at clubs like this?
Accessibility, I would say. You can get all the youth teams up here, and we've been working really hard on cross-fertilisation between the youth teams, getting to know the seniors, and the seniors actually getting to know some of the youth teams right down to the 5s and 6s, and that's worked really well this season.
So having an identity is really important, and obviously being a Nike partner club, we're here in the club shop. What does it mean for the community of Harborough to have a team playing at this level of non-league to actually come out and watch them play?
I think it's been an incredible journey over the last few years. Obviously, we had COVID and lockdown, which really frustrated a lot of our youngsters and our players and everybody all over the country. But how well Harborough has done this season has really drummed up the support, and they've all got behind each other and behind our motto of one club, one goal. We are here as a family, and we want to put Harborough on the map.
Love that.
And we've spoken about it already. Match days can be very, very busy. I think probably every week is a busy one for you. But tell us, what exactly does it take to get a game of football on here?
Volunteers, the biggest thing in non-league football, as we know, and we desperately need more. So if anybody is interested, please pop down and see us. But yeah, really, it's all of us running around as we do. We try and put on a show, so we try and keep the running to a minimum, so that we've got all the guests that come in, and I mean guests as in attendees and people that are watching the game. We try and look at it from that perspective, to put on a show, make sure the football's good, but it's everything else that goes with it, from the catering and the wonderful work that those guys do, to the announcements that we do, to the Twitter, to everything really. That's all got to be connected. Siobhan and looking after the mascots, trying to bring it all forward so that people are spending their £6 as an adult to come in, and it's worth it. It's not just a football match. Actually, it's more. There's more to it. So, but hard work and is what I guess gets us there.
And not just a football match. Obviously, on non-league day, you've got a big clash coming up. Who have we got?
Yes, we have. We've got Leicester Road, who are top of the table at the moment. So 1 and 2 clash. Obviously, we're going to win on home ground, but yeah, it's going to be a massive event, and we would really, really like it to be as big as the FA Vars match that we had, where we had over 1,200 people here. It was amazing, but it was very manic.
It's got all the ingredients to be a very special day. Top of the league clash,
Yep.
non-league day as well. There will be perhaps some supporters of Football League and Premier League clubs looking for a game to watch on a Saturday afternoon. What words of encouragement would you give them?
Come on down, absolutely come on down, because it's you can get so close to the players, to the fans. Come and enjoy the environment that we put on, but I guess not just us, any non-league ground. And I think sometimes that we all get lost with the Premier League and VAR and things like that. This is real. This is real life. Come and meet guys that have worked all through the week, who are going to go and give it or they're all for 90 minutes out there. Have a beer with your mates, come down, have a chat to the players afterwards. And I think that's really what it's about. It's the interactivity you can have much more on a local level.
And if you do come down, make sure you come into the club shop. I'm already eyeing up one of them hats to purchase before I leave.
Definitely.
Before we do, just a round of quick fire questions for you both. So, starting with you, Siobhan, what does football mean to you?
It means belonging to a family. You know, my kids have grown up now. They're 19. I've got twins. They're off doing their own thing. What does mum do? Well, she comes down here and she meets all of her friends and all of her family, and we have a great day.
I think, clubs can bring people together. We've shown that with some of the charity things we're trying to do, particularly coming up this year, trying to raise funds to do a Cry Day, so cardiac arrest in the young, and cardiac risk, in the young, so that we can just bring people together. We've got 57 teams. We should be a place where people come down and just enjoy themselves. I love coming down. That's why I spend so much time down here. We all do.
You mentioned teams there, and we're so lucky that you've hosted us here at Harborough Town, because it's a team effort on the pitch, it's a team effort off the pitch as well. And my next quick fire question to you both is, what is the best thing that football has given to you?
As I said before, family, a purpose, what can I give back now? This is not a job that I do because I want to get paid. It's a job that I do because I love it.
Happiness. I think it's really good. You come out of work, you work 9 till 5:30. You just want to come and have, a great deal of fun with people. I also coached my son's under 14s team. It's just great.
And as we know, it takes a massive effort of people for this to happen. Who's your unsung hero? Who's the person behind the scenes that's meant the most to you?
Well, I'd have to say Laurence. I mean, the amount of effort that he puts into this club is incredible. He's my inspiration. He's believed in me and trusted me and allowed me to step forward. But we really work as a team. But Harborough Town is so lucky to have him.
And I probably wouldn't get away with not saying my wife, who looks after the other half of the social team, and in the shop we're in now. And a lot of that is down to her, including the online version of it as well.
Well, look, you mentioned inspiration. You are both so inspiring, and I know our listeners will take away so much from what you've shared with us today. So thank you so much for making us feel so welcome and for sharing your insight as well.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Right, let's leave the club shop and see who else we can find at the ground.
PitchPower is a free web app from the Football Foundation that allows you to inspect your pitches using your mobile phone, quick and easy. We're urging all clubs to submit their pitch inspections by the 31st of March so you can start your pitch improvement journey. Head to the Football Foundation website for more information.
We've heard about everything that makes up the National League system off the pitch, the fan experience. Now it's time to learn about what goes on it. And I'm delighted to be joined by two very special guests. Gents, first things first, introduce yourselves.
Mitch Austin, first team manager of Harborough Town.
And Nathaniel Ansu, striker. Yeah.
Striker.
Yeah, top goal scorer at the moment. But
Yeah, is
let's
that
see
why
if
you're
we
up
keep
there?
it up. Yeah,
Yeah?
work hard and play hard.
Brilliant. So we know at this level of the game, obviously, you have jobs during the day. You probably train twice a week. How hard is having that balance from obviously trying to manage at this level of the game for yourself, Mitch, and then yourself as a player and that?
With the football, it's another full-time job pretty much, and I think a lot of non-league managers will say the same. When you're dedicated and you love the game so much, you put everything into it. It's difficult, but where you enjoy it, it's a pleasure to be here and to be in the game, really.
Can you give us a bit of an insight into what it's like as a player? Because, you know, you've got training twice a week, that Saturday, Tuesday rhythm of games, and making, I assume, a 9-to-5 job work around it all as well must be a bit of a challenge.
To be fair, we get away from football to like we escape our jobs to go and play football. So it's different from our player in our perspective. Like I enjoy coming in and seeing the lads, and obviously we all bonded together. So it's actually kind of nice. Like, you see them 3 times a week, and then you're always just like joking about, laughing and having a good time. So sometimes it's nice to get away from work and like see your friends and get on with training and stuff and work hard.
There often can be a perception that obviously at this level of the game that it's not as professional as people expect, but the organisation that goes into it, he was just telling us often if you play on a Tuesday and you got a game on a Saturday, you'll do things like yoga on a Thursday, which would probably be unexpected to a lot of people listening. What's it like, Nat, trying to prepare for the schedule that you have throughout a season?
It's been embedded in us, to be fair. Since pre-season, we've been here, and we weren't playing games at the start of pre-season, so we were here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and sometimes you had a double session on a Saturday. So we kind of like got used to it, but as I said, it also depends on the team and how the gaffer gets the team gelling together. So sometimes you don't even think about it. You always like with your players and that, so it's kind of nice. So we don't really think about it. We just like wrap around our heads around it, and then we just get on with it. To be fair, it's nice. We're playing football. I mean, we're lucky, to be fair. So that's what it is.
We've been talking a lot about there almost being a bit of a resurgence around non-league football, and I think that is in part because of the competition within the divisions as well. Can you both give us a bit of an insight into what it's like week in, week out in the division that you're in?
Yeah, we've got some outstanding sides. I think that shows in the FA Vars run this season in ourselves, Newport Pagnell, Rugby Town, Leicester Road, who are currently top. We're second. And other clubs as well, Coventry United, Lutterworth Town. There's some real solid teams. We've had some really good days ourselves, but we've come up against some really tough teams, and it's going to be exciting into the season with the games remaining.
Like you say, you've got Leicester Road on non-league day. Non-league day is a big fixture in the calendar for clubs at this level. Opportunity to bring significant number of fans through the gates. You saw that during your Vars fixture. What does it mean, Nat, to have all them fans on the sideline inspiring and cheering you on?
It's nice to be fair, and gives us a bit of a push.
This is one of the top clubs at this level for many reasons, and the people behind the scenes and how many kids are out here training at the moment, all the youth teams that we've got, all the parents, how welcome they are. It's a family friendly club which is fully focused on its community. Yes, the first team is the pinnacle, but the youth and the kids' enjoyment of the game is very important to this club. To come and watch us on non-league day, there should be a big crowd, and there should be a spectacle of 2 teams that should show you a great game, and hopefully a Harborough win.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for that day. But before we finish, we've got some quick fire questions for you. So Nat, I'm going to come to you first. What does football truly mean to you?
To be fair, is at one point it was everything that I had, because like sometimes you want to get away from your personal situations and kind of like just distract yourself. So I've been in love with football since like the age of 8, and football like means a lot to me too. Just the world. I used to just think about playing football, but then I realised how important it is to have a good team around you as well, and like good management, good structure, and also like with the kids around and everything. We do a lot of work with kids. So this season I really learned the importance of football just as a whole, not just playing 90 minutes.
And Mitch, to go from being a player now to being a manager, it must mean a lot to you as well.
Yeah, I was never the best of players. I was always a bit of a leader, or I felt I was, and I had great leadership attributes, but I never had the physical attributes to take me as high as I wanted as a player. So, I'm trying to get as high as up the pyramid as possible as a manager, and I love every minute of it. I live and breathe it.
Next quick fire question, and Mitch, I'll come to you first. What's the best thing that football has given or taught you?
When we played Hinkley Road and we lost, it was a humbling experience, because we was top and they were second at the time, and I remembered that their team didn't celebrate, and they was very humble in victory, and I felt that was very classy. And I think there's important ways of winning, and there's important ways of losing. And on Saturday we lost, and I felt like I was a great loser. And it sounds really weird, But I just want to get out of the game that I'm humble in defeat and I'm humble in victory, and I deal with both just on a level, really.
And the final one, who's your unsung hero, the person behind the scenes? And you don't have to say the gaffer because he's here, but who would be like the hero behind the scenes that helps you do what you do? Might not be here at the club, it might be back home or what have you. Who's your inspiration?
Well, I got loads. I got a few mentors, and probably one, I'll say Gary Petts, one of my former managers, and we have like close relationships. And like, to be fair, he's always like checking up on me and all that stuff, and keeping me straight at times as well. So I think like him as well. To be fair, yeah, I'll say him.
And Mitch, you?
At the club, first and foremost, I think the whole committee is outstanding. It's something that I've never experienced before. It's a group of people that are dedicated to improving the club, improving the people here, and improving myself. There's 3 people that stand out, and there's Maz, Laurence Jones, and Pete Dugan. I think Pete Dugan for me and Laurence have been massive sounding boards and massive support for me to just be the best I can be. And for me to be the best is give them the best manager possible and the best players and to get the results that we have. So for me, massive credit to them 3 and all of the committee. You know, we've got the media team here, you know, Siobhan. She gives us more money if we're nice to her on the budget. But no, just a really dedicated and committed and professional, a really professional board of committee members.
Oh, guys, you've made us feel so welcome. Thank you for giving up your time. I know you've got an important night of training ahead of you. Best of luck for that game on non-league. I fancy you for the winner on that one, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers for coming down. Thank you.
Hi everybody, it's Tom from In The Box. I've got a fantastic opportunity for you. If you want to be at the FA Vase or FA Trophy at Wembley Stadium on May the 22nd, all you need to do is this. Visit the League and Club Hub on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then like and comment against the League of Our Own episode. And that's it, as simple as that. If you want to be there at Wembley Stadium, May 22nd, subscribe, like and comment. Wow, what another unbelievable episode of In The Box here at Harborough Town. Whether you're listening on podcast or you're watching this back on YouTube, do us a massive favour. Please like and subscribe to this episode and leave us a review. Leaving reviews helps us get this content out to a wider audience. As you know, at the end of the podcast, me and Charlotte like to have a review about what the biggest thing we learned or the biggest takeaways. So Charlotte, what's the biggest thing we're taking away from this episode?
Well, Tom, as you know, I love my non-league football, and for me, I've come away with a sense of just how competitive and well-run non-league football is. Just as much as the professional game, it's that idea of scalability, and there are so many unique things about non-league football that actually I think could be things that the professional game could take away and learn as well. But what's your big takeaway?
It's just that workforce behind it. Everyone's mentioned it today, that they're delivering on the scale of a football league or a Premiership club in terms of the experience for the fans that come through the gate or that turnstile. But everything just feels a little bit more within that touching distance.
Well, I think it's safe to say Tom and I have really enjoyed shining a spotlight on the non-league game. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of In The Box as well. Do let us know in the comments section below and remind us of why you love the non-league game. Don't forget to go out on Saturday, the 26th of March, and support your local non-league team. And why not go again throughout the season as well? Until next time, from Tom and I, take care.